Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on the webinar today. My name is Trevor Nicholson from Life Care Funding. And on behalf of the Life Care Funding team, we're extremely excited to launch this awareness contest in an effort to show our appreciation for all of the years of support from the Brookdale network. So let's get started. Life Care Funding provides the opportunity to help a senior use their life insurance policy to help them fund care at your community. The problem that seniors are facing today is that they want and need the services that all of your communities provide, but they occasionally do not have the financial resources to afford the cost. And this is where we can help. Our goal as a partner is to help you help them fund their care at your property by using their life insurance policy. When we talk about life insurance, we talk about an enormous amount of money. Right now in the United States, there is $500 billion in life insurance that senior citizens own. In fact, there is more in-force life insurance in this country than there is home equity. Unfortunately, most of that $500 billion will either be lapsed or surrendered back to the insurance company for little to no value. As the screen illustrates, close to 90% of policies will eventually be lapsed or surrendered. Some of that is term life insurance, but a significant amount comes from seniors who lapse or surrender their policies in the last 3 to 5 years of their life when they need that money the most to pay for care at your property. But seniors and their families have very limited options to access the value in a life insurance policy when they do not need it or cannot afford it. Let's take a look at that Medicaid statistic in the middle of the screen. 38% of seniors who went on Medicaid chose to liquidate their policy to qualify. Imagine if they knew that they had the option to use their life insurance policy. It could have helped them afford private pay while also getting some value out of that policy. Let's be clear. Letting a life insurance policy lapse is like throwing it away. When a senior lapses their life insurance, the insurance company keeps all the premium payments and is no longer responsible for paying out a death benefit. If a policy has any cash value, and many do not, seniors can surrender the policy back to the insurance company, but usually for less than 10% of the policy face value. Fortunately, there's a much better solution. And that solution is using life care funding. Seniors and their families can access the value in their current life insurance policy to pay for care at your community by converting the policy into a benefit plan that pays the property directly. Life Care Funding's long-term care benefit plan will pay for virtually every type of care. Therefore, if a prospect needs to move into your property and they are using Life Care Funding, they can move the benefit with them to fund care at the community. How is all this possible? What most people don't realize is that they own their life insurance policy. Many people think the life insurance company owns the policy, but nothing could be further from the truth. In 1911, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote the majority opinion in the landmark Supreme Court case establishing that a life insurance policy is personal property just like a home or stock. Seniors own their life insurance and they have the right to use it to fund care with you. I often get asked the question, why would I use my life insurance policy to pay for my care? My question back is always, why did you buy your life insurance policy in the first place? Most people buy life insurance to protect family against a catastrophic event. The family is usually the children, but circumstances change over time, and so do insurance needs. If you need money for care, you have to ask yourself that question. Do I still need my life insurance policy? For instance, are the children adults and financially independent? I can only hope that when my 2 little girls are grown up, they are not sitting around waiting for me to pass away to collect their money on my life insurance policy. I can only hope that when I need senior care, my children are not financially dependent on me. Certainly, my obligation will have changed to keep this policy in force, and I would hope that my children's interest is to help their father use the best financial resources to help me afford my senior care. So, how does this program work? Once the policy is converted into a benefit plan based on the present day value, the funds are deposited into an FDIC insured irrevocable account under the senior's name in a national chartered bank designed to fund your community. Automatic payments are made out of this account to your community on a month to month basis. The payment can also be adjusted to help with any change in care needs. We also preserve a minimum of $5,000 or 5% of the policy conversion for a beneficiary of the family's choosing. Most importantly, our program was built to comply with all state life insurance and settlement regulations. And if the senior passed away before the entire benefit is spent, any remaining balance would go to the beneficiary of the family's choosing. I want to preface this next slide with you do not have to pre-qualify candidates for our program. In fact, if you are having conversations with seniors and their families where they think they or their loved one has a policy, but they are not sure of the specifics about the policy type and size, please offer to connect them with LifeCare Funding, and we'd be happy to help the family find out that information. Almost any type of life insurance is eligible for conversion to a long-term care benefit, including term, universal, whole, even group and government policies. The life insurance policy needs to have a death benefit of at least $50,000 or greater to be eligible for conversion into a long-term care benefit. As I mentioned earlier, the benefit funds all types of senior care. Let's now look at some success stories within the Brookdale network. Here's how the first case occurred at Brookdale Guadalupe Plaza. A family toured the property in the hope of moving their father in. When they sat down with the sales team to discuss cost, they realized they did not have the financial means to afford their father's care at the property. That's when the team asked a series of questions. The first question was, are you a veteran? And their second question was, does your father have a life insurance policy? I know for a fact that this particular team at Brookdale Guadalupe Plaza makes it part of their protocol to ask every prospective and current resident those questions. Sure enough, Dad did have a policy. In fact, they were thinking of accepting the cash value from the insurance company and surrendering the policy. The sales team suggested to the family that before they do anything with their policy, they should consult Brookdale's partner, LifeCare Funding. Sure enough, the family connected with LifeCare Funding, and we were able to offer them $23,000 or 46% of the death benefit of the policy to help afford their father's care. This money was put into an account under their dad's name that funded the community on a month-to-month basis. This far surpassed the cash value and gave the family the additional financing needed to move Dad into the property. Before I continue, one important point that you have to understand. We all know that $23,000 is a lot of money to help a family out. But this is money that the family did not know they had the option to receive. And that's how every success story goes. People aren't walking into the community asking if they can convert their life insurance policy because they don't know the option even exists. Therefore, I can promise you that when you help a family out with our program, they are absolutely ecstatic because, again, they didn't know that using a life insurance policy to fund their or their loved one's senior care was even a choice. To couple my statement, I want you all to understand that it's hard to find seniors with in-force policies above $50,000 or more. But I highly recommend that you keep asking the question, creating that awareness, because when you find the appropriate candidate who could benefit from using LifeCare Funding, you can help them out dramatically. In this success story, a family needed to move their mother out of a rehab facility into Horizon Bay, Grand Prairie. When the family toured the property, the sales team handed the family a LifeCare Funding brochure. Coincidentally, the family was considering lapsing the policy. The premium payments were becoming unaffordable, and their primary focus was trying to figure out how to fund their mother's care. Again, the family was connected with LifeCare Funding, and we were able to offer $40,000 for the policy to help fund their mother's care. Or you could say we were able to give the family $40,000 for a life insurance policy that the family was going to throw away for no money. So why offer life care funding? Because it's a win-win for every party involved. The prospective or current resident gets the opportunity to tap into an asset to help them fund their care at your property. More specifically, an asset they did not know they had the option to use prior to talking with you. There are no premiums to pay. Life care funding becomes the beneficiaries taking on this financial burden from the policy owner, and we are now responsible for paying those premiums. Absolutely no fees charged to any senior who uses our program. If a current resident is using life care funding and they passed away before the benefit account was used, any remainder would go to the beneficiary of the family's choosing, and this transaction is tax-free in most cases. And here's what you get: another financial resource to help increase your occupancy and revenue. This is a great resource for prospects inquiring to learn more about moving in. Think of all the families who you've met with in the last 6 months who might own a life insurance policy. It certainly couldn't hurt to go back and ask. And please don't neglect current residents about this financial solution. This can help residents who are spending down or might owe outstanding balance. It's an excellent private pay source of funds, and there are, of course, no fees charged to the community to use our program. So how do you create awareness about Life Care Funding's program? Keep it simple and let us do the work. You do have to create that awareness, but we're going to be there to help you do that. If you need brochures, please reach out to us and we'll mail those to your community at no cost. We have an exclusive Brookdale Life Care Funding portal, a one-stop shop resource library for anything that you need pertaining to life care funding. And this link will be included in every email that goes out to all of you. We offer bi-weekly training webinars if you ever want to jump on and get a refresher around our program. And we do a raffle on these, so you might win an iPad or a lobster dinner just for attending. Lastly, and most importantly, use me as a resource, Trevor Nicholson. You can always contact me anytime with anything and everything that you need from Life Care Funding. Should you have a family curious to learn more about our program, please feel free to have them contact me or offer to have me connect with them. It's always comforting for a family to associate a name to reach out to versus an 800 number. And if I'm not standing by, someone over here at Life Care Funding always is. How do you present life care funding? You have to ask that question: do you have a life insurance policy? And on the screen are some suggestions on just how to do that. You may be able to use a life insurance policy to pay for a stay at our community by converting it into a long-term benefit. We work with Life Care Funding, who helps seniors and their families pay for senior care using a life insurance policy. I am leaving you with some information on Life Care Funding, and I will have Trevor Nicholson reach out to you to explain this important funding option. There is no cost or obligation to learn more. And I get it, everyone. Our program can sound a bit complicated. So let us do the work. That's where you're going to see success. It's as simple as asking the question, do you own a life insurance policy? Offering to connect the family with Life Care Funding, and concluding every conversation with further education with a brochure, access to our website, or both. Our financial solution can dramatically help a family afford the care that they need at your community. And we want to make sure that every senior that you are working with has every financial resource available, because a well-informed senior is a less vulnerable senior. And with that, I want to thank you for your time watching this webinar. I look forward to working with you. And if you have any questions or anything you need from Life Care Funding, please feel free to connect with me anytime. Thank you for the support.